Now, uh, this is not as bad as it could have been. Remember, mostly singular day. So if you make more than $100 profit in a singular day, that counts as a minimum day, essentially. A day that counts towards getting a payout. For the 50K account, that's $150, 100K account, $200, 150K account, $250. You'll qualify for that.
It's like repair, safe like replace.
Ooh, that's rough. At least with Safe Light, you can get that fixed any way you want.
Any way you want.
Get your shit fixed while I get my hair clipped? Yep, they can fix my glass while we fish for bad. If you want, they can recalibrate my safety features while I sit in the pants. That one doesn't rhyme, but sure.
Get it fixed any way you want at safehair.com. Hair safe like replace.
They say it's the end of unforgettable triumphs and unmatchable great.
Can someone go get the dollar?
Hi, I'm Trading at Schwab is powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of Thinkorswim with Robo.
Soon quite rapidly as well. It's not really something to worry about unless you are worried about getting a payout extremely fast, if that makes sense. Then for Pro and Direct, there are no minimum amount of days. So what we see right here is that Flex has 5 qualifying days. So you need 5 of those qualifying days right there as a minimum to be eligible for a payout. For Pro, you'll see there are no minimum days, but we have still mentioned approximately 3. And for Direct, it's also approximately 5. Why? Consistency rule. So you can't get a payout in one singular day because you are limited by the consistency rule right there. So even though there are no minimum days, you still have to trade a certain amount of days to match the consistency rule. Next, we have the profit requirement right here. So between every cycle, every payout cycle, how much profit do you actually need to make in order to get a certain payout? So profit needed before each payout, goals reset to $0 after every approved payout. By the way, your maximum loss limit doesn't reset after a payout. So it doesn't go back to the original maximum loss limit. No, it stays locked in. It stays locked at the opening balance plus $100 profit. Important to take into account as well. So any positive net profit, even $1 qualifies for the flex plan. As simple as that. The main thing you really have to take into account for the flex plan is those 5 qualifying days. That's really it. For the pro plan, it's a little bit more nuanced. So you need to hit a certain goal plus the buffer in the account. So the buffer is your maximum loss limit plus $100. You need to essentially hit that, your safety net. If you don't have that, you essentially can't withdraw. Then you need to hit a goal as well. For Direct, you need to hit a certain goal as well. So for Direct, the goal that you need to hit is payout 1 matches the evaluation target for the evaluation target from Pro and Flex that we saw. And no worries, I'm going to show you the figure right there. For Direct, the payout number 2, so every consequent payout afterwards, is lower, I believe is half, but we'll see right here. So for Pro right here, the goal plus the buffer. The buffer you need to have, for example, for a 25K account is dimmed right there towards the right. That's the buffer you need to have. So you need to have that balance essentially in order to have that buffer. Everything above that buffer, the goal you then need to hit, for example, for a 25K account is $250. So for a total balance on a 25K account, that would be $26,350. For the 50K account, you see the $500 goal, and that balance again is that buffer is $52,100. So again, that's the total balance because then you have that buffer where the maximum loss limit locks in at your opening balance. For 100K, that's $750. For 150K, that is $1,000. For Direct, we see the first payout is highlighted on the left. That's essentially the goal that you should hit so that you can withdraw that profit. For all the first payouts, $1,500, that's $3,000 for a 50K account, 100K account, $6,000, and 50K, $9,000. But for the payouts afterwards, we see 25K right there, it's $1,250. For 50K, that's $2,500. For 100K, we see $3,500, so almost a half. And 150K is half because that is $4,500. That is the goal that you need to hit in order to withdraw. Now, how much can you actually withdraw? The minimum payout is across the board $500. The maximum payout is the following right here. For Flex, the first from plan to plan. For Flex right here, how much can you actually withdraw? You can withdraw 50% of the profit capped by size. Now, what that size is what we're going to dive into as well. But you can only withdraw 50% of the profit that you have. Then we see Pro right here. This has a fixed cap, which rises after payout 1. For direct, it also has a fixed cap, but it rises after payout number 3. These right here are the figures. So for flex, we see that the cap by size, so the total amount that you can actually withdraw, is $1,000 on a 25K account. So that is the maximum that you can do. That's not 50% off $1,000. No, that's the total that you can up to $1,000. So if you have $3,000 profit ready, for example, for withdrawal for a 25K account, you can do 50%. That's 1,500. Yes, but then you can only do up to $1,000. So maximum is $1,000 per payout. 50K account, that's $2,000. For 100K account, that's 2,500. For 150K account, that's $3,000. For Pro, the fixed cap, which rises after payout number 1, these are the figures right here. So on the left, we have payout 1. On the right, dimmed, we have after payout 1. You see that after payout 1 on all the account sizes, you essentially get $500 extra that you can withdraw every payout. For direct, has a fixed cap which rises after payout 3. For the 25K account, this is $1,000 throughout. Doesn't change, doesn't increase. For the other accounts, it's the same as Pro, where essentially $500 gets added to the total amount that you can withdraw. For the funded stage, there's still no overnight holding, same as in the evaluation stage. This will change once we approach a live account. Now, the profit split right here is 90-10 across the board. So if you, for example, have a 25K flex account and you are looking to withdraw $1,000, then you will actually be given a $900. Now, like we already mentioned, you can probably already see from funded stage and evaluation stage that the easier the evaluation stage is, arguably the more difficult the funded stage is going to be, and invert that, and that's also true. So the more difficult the evaluation stage, for example, arguably flex, the arguably easier the payout stage is right there, or more flexible. No pun intended. Now we'll dive into the exact details towards the end as well, which plan is better for you, because you can probably already get an idea. Now, you also need to choose a platform, of course. So there are 2 options that you can choose from, essentially 2 feeds. You can't switch between these. So the choice, making the right choice, quite important. Feed number 1 is CQJ, which has Ninja Trader, Trade Evade, and Trading View. You might be familiar with a couple of those. Trading View, a lot of people opt for Trading View because it's simply a lot easier. Next, we have feed 2, which is Rhythmic. Now, for Rhythmic, you have a bit more options depending on what you are looking for. You have Tradesy, which is a new upcoming platform, quite popular nowadays. You have Quantower, Motive Wave, Share Chart, Jigsaw, Bookmap, and a lot of these extra things. For example, if you're an order flow trader, then you might need that. Now, Tradesy also has a proper mobile app, which is one of the few which actually has a decent mobile app as well. So which one of these 2 should you pick? Well, if you are new to prop, I would advise personally go for feed number 1. It's arguably the most accessible. You don't need all that extra stuff that you get in feed number 2. Feed number 1 is everything you need. You can use Trade Evade, you can use Trading View, or of course Ninja Trader if you're already used to that. Quite important to understand, if you have multiple Trade Evade accounts, you can group trade within Trade Evade, if that makes sense. You can't group trade within Trading View unless you have a third-party trade connector, a trade syncer, essentially a third-party copy trader. With Trade Evade, you don't necessarily need that. But it's only if you're looking to purchase multiple accounts, and how many accounts you can actually use and purchase is something we'll also still dive into. Now, if by the odd chance you are looking for phone or mobile, you can potentially focus on Rhythmic right there if you prefer to do that, because then you also have access to Tradesy right there. Now, if you are an workflow trader, you might also opt for Rhythmic, or well, you have to almost opt for Rhythmic right there because you have access to, for example, Jigsaw, Bookmap, and entails. Now, if you've been in the funded stage, you have the potential to move on to the live stage. The live stage works as following right here. These are the eligibility triggers. So after your 5th payout, the team will check how you are doing, and you might be moved to live as well. So then the team, and again, when I refer to the team, this is the risk management team that is behind Lose It, essentially. They are checking if you are already good to move to live. Then they'll also look at your lifetime sim profit. So if you have a significant amount paid out, then you might be moved to live a little bit earlier, for example. On top of that, exceptional performance. So similar to lifetime sim profit, if you do very well and they see you are ready for live, you will be moved to live. So the 5th payout is not necessarily a hard trigger, if that makes sense. It might even be earlier, but it might also be later. They think, well, you're not ready for live, we'll keep you on sim funded. Now, what you get in the live stage is you start with $0 starting balance. So the profit doesn't carry over from the sim funded stage. But in live, you can start earning a lot faster. So your maximum loss limit stays from funded as well. You still have that end of day trading. It works in the exact same manner as we discussed before. Next, you have no daily loss limit. Next, you have live account scaling, which is maximum contract scaling. So what we talked about a little bit earlier as well, we're going to go over those details, which updates end of the day. So the live perks that you have, what changes once you're live is you can get daily payouts actually, which is a huge perk, of course. Then on top of that, you have no daily loss limit anymore. So again, Pro, Direct, Flex, no matter what account type you have before, it all moves to live, and live is just one account, right? So well, it's not necessarily one account, but it's one account type. So there's not a live Flex, a live Direct, or anything like that. No, no, no. It's just a live account. That's it. Next, you are allowed to swing trade. So you can actually start holding overnight and hold through weekends as well if that's something you want to do. And a huge one is a first time bonus in a live account, which is actually quite nice, where you can get a bonus on top of your first payout that you receive in your live account. So let's dive into the details right here. Account limits. How much accounts can you actually have per household and per stage? Important to understand, evaluation, you can have up to 10 active evaluation accounts. If you move over to funded, you can only have a maximum of 5 funded accounts, maximum of 10 when combined with evaluation as well. So let's say, for example, 3 funded accounts and 7 evaluations. In live, you can have up to 5 live accounts. So you can have 1 live account per funded that hit a payout. So every essentially funded account that has hit a payout will also be moved to live if you are moving to live.
Go all in. Buy any two Ferrero brands for your chance to win $1 million.
Leave the meeting. Lose the noise. Your aura is limited.
Nationwide has strategies built to help you save time.
Well, clients love that, and I love that.
Because when Nationwide helps
So it's not, for example, if you took a payout of 500 accounts and you will just be moved to 1 live account. No, it doesn't work like that. You will move to 5 live accounts as well. So all eligible funded accounts move at once. Every funded with at least 1 payout transitions together to live accounts. Important that unpaid funded, so if you didn't get a payout, those will be actually refunded. So funded with 0 payouts get the eval cost back because your simulated accounts will just completely close. You can't use those anymore. Now your household is locked to live. So what that means is that you have 1 member live per household. So all the limitations right here are also per household, and there's no simulated trading anymore on the side or anything of that sort. So live account scaling, that contract scaling, how does that work? For the 25K account, here you see the different feeds as well. So depending on if you're looking at a COMEX chart or a CME chart, that's going to determine a little bit how many minis or micros you can use. Again, on the left, we have minis, right? On the right, we have micros. The same that we looked at earlier on, the more profit you have, the more contracts you can essentially use. This is for a 25K account until you reach that maximum right there. For a 50K account, that looks something along these lines. For a 100K account, that looks like this right here. For a 150K account, that looks like this. So for COMEX, top of my head, that is, I believe, for example, GC, gold, and silver, you'll be able to use a less amount of contracts as a maximum. As CME, you can be a bit more aggressive right there. Now, the exciting part is a first-time live bonus. So depending on your account size right here and your live profit to hit, if you hit that live profit, then this will be a bonus that will be paid on top of that profit that you have. And once you start withdrawing it, which is quite decent for 25K account, that's $1,000 US. For 50K account, that's $2,000 US. 100K, 3,000, and 150K, 4,500 US. Now, this first time live bonus applies to every account. This is per account, it's stackable essentially. If you have 5 50K accounts live hitting that target, then you essentially have $10,000 US in bonuses. This is your first trip only. So your second time live, this is essentially gone. So the first time live, be careful with that. If you eventually move on to Lucid Max, which we're going to dive into in just a second, you're not eligible for this anymore. So live right here, you can start getting payouts every single day, essentially. And especially if you can get those bonuses, that's quite huge. Now, moving on, Lucid Max. So this is what a lot of people actually don't know about. This is Lucid's plan for more experienced traders. Lucid Max is an invite-only program. So if you blow a live account, you get a 2-week cooldown. So for 2 weeks, you can't purchase a new account anymore. And it doesn't matter how you blow it, you get a 2-week cooldown. Now, depending if the risk management team deems it necessary, then they might give you a longer cooldown. After that cooldown is over, you might get invited to Lucid Max. This is only for proven traders. So if they see, okay, you did blow a live account, but you did actually do very well, you might get invited to Lucid Max. Now, how Lucid Max actually works is the following. So you still have an evaluation that you need to pass. So you have evaluation rules. For example, 40% consistency, you have 5 minimum days, and the same target, profit target is Flex and Pro. Then what happens if you pass the evaluation, you skip the sim funded stage. So you immediately go to live essentially. And the live perks you get is again daily payouts, no daily loss limit, up to 5 accounts, 90-10 profit split. So if we compare a Lucid Max versus a standard plan, essentially the standard plans that we went over already. The path for Lucid Max is that you go from evaluation to live immediately. You skip that funded stage, it's sim funded. You have a consistency rule in the evaluation stage, 40% right there. Minimum trading days of 5. Contract scaling plan, yes, in a live account. That's the same as what we looked at previously in that live account. You have no daily loss limits. Payouts, again, daily, which is quite nice. Resets, yes, at eval price as well. This is only for the evaluation. You can't reset a live account. Then we have the pricing of Lucid Max. Now, the pricing of Lucid Max essentially comes down to how well you do as a trader. If you don't do that well, Lucid Max is going to cost you more. So you see that we have different tiers. We have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 with an extra numbers to the side of it. So 0, 4, 5, 8, etc. Now, what is that exactly based on? Okay, if you clear drawdown, that's going to determine the tier that you are actually in. Clearing drawdown essentially means that live profits cross your starting drawdown line. So that means your maximum loss limit locks at the opening balance plus that $100 profit. If you have successfully done so, then you have cleared drawdown. So what they look at is how many live accounts you have and how many times have you successfully cleared drawdown. The more times you have failed, so failed to clear drawdown, then you're going to climb in tiers. So for example, if you have failed to clear drawdown between 0 to 4 times, you're going to be in tier 1. The more often you fail to clear drawdown, the higher your tier is going to be. And the higher your tier is, the more expensive Lucid Max prices will be for you as well. So tier 1 is $110 sorry, for a 25K account. And you'll see for a 50K account as well, again, the more you fail to clear a drawdown right there, the more expensive it is going to be for you. The maximum is tier 4. So for 100K, for 150K account right there as well, the maximum is tier 4. You can't go beyond that. This is something you do want to take serious because the pricing increases right there, they are quite arguably quite drastic. So now let's see which plan is actually best for you and how we would advise which plan you should be choosing between Flex, Pro, and Direct. Before we do that, really quick, again, rules and breaches. These are hard breaches right here. So your account is completely closed. If you hit the maximum loss limit, of course. If you are hedging across accounts, so that means opposing positions on the same instrument across accounts, users, or even firms. High frequency trading right there is also not allowed. Micro scalping is also not allowed. And you'll see the definition below right there. Over 50% of profits from trades held less than 5 seconds. Regular scalping, by the way, is completely fine. Then 30-day inactivity is also a hard breach, like we already mentioned. A soft breach is again hitting that daily loss limit. Moving on. What Lucid also explicitly allows is news trading. No restrictions on that. You can dollar cost average or scale your way in. On top of that, for example, trade copiers are also allowed. Now, errors are course, your responsibility. Next, flipping. So quick trades to hit minimum day requirements, for example, is also allowed. The different choices that you can make between these plans, it also comes down, in my opinion, to a little bit how experienced are you. The cheapest entry and arguably the most beginner-friendly is Flex. This is the lowest price at every size, scaling plan and funded 5 qualifying days. This is arguably the best value for money. For most traders, this is their go-to plan. Even if they're already a little bit more experienced, this is still their go-to plan. They love this plan. I do know traders a little bit more experienced that actually love the Pro plan as well, which is that middle plan. So you can pass that evaluation very fast. No consistency rule. In evaluation, you can get your payouts relatively quick as well. So the reason why I said, well, how experienced are you is because if you want your payouts fast, I would argue Pro might be your best option. If you're not worried about passing fast or anything like that, and you want best value for money, then Flex is arguably your plan. Now, the plan that is the least common, or at least from what we see, is direct, where you skip the evaluation. Although there are traders that love to just skip the evaluation completely and only worry about the consistency rule when it comes to the funded stage. Link inscription to go directly to Lucy, that's an affiliate link. It really helps us out, and you get the highest available discount. On top of that, you can always use the code BIP to also get the highest available discounts.
Trading at Schwab is powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of thinkorswim. With robust charting and analysis tools, nearly endless customization, and up-to-the-minute news and insights. Trade brilliantly with Schwab.
Watch what nuts do to our body. Well, walnut is really good for you. Loaded with omega-3 fats and with fiber. But right next to it, cashew. Cashew is not enough. I know cashews are delicious, but your body doesn't think so. Pistachios are good for you. They're the highest melatonin-containing compound, one of two antioxidants in your mitochondria. Here's a trick. Always get pistachios in the chef.
Trail mix.
If you want your own trail mix, you could use walnuts, macadamia nuts, pistachios, add some chunks of dark chocolate, and you got a perfect balance.
Apples.
All right, I got no confluences here right now. I'm waiting. I'm looking at the imbalances. There's a top side rejection on basically three of the time frames right now. So we got a top side rejection on the 5, top side rejection on the 10, top side rejection on the 15. 30 is like more in the middle, it's just more neutral. And then we have a top side rejection over here on the 1 hour. So the sells here could kind of kick in. I mean, if we have some confluences behind it, there's a possibility. But yeah, I'm not taking anything right now. We're in this range. So we're in this chop range right now. There's the green chart.
Morning. This is Horizon's Middle East and Africa. Our top stories this morning. Oil rises as the United States and Iran exchange fresh strikes after a U.S. helicopter was downed, further testing peace talks. Stocks resumed their slide as tech shares remain under pressure and investors trim positions ahead of a key inflation report in the U.S. And while IPO mania takes hold in the United States,
You still doubt Tesla? Really? SpaceX is about to become the biggest mega cap of the first year. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a tap on a 50 in the bottom. Like SpaceX deadline has changed until June 10th. Interesting. 160 people in Texas are about to be 100 millionaires. Yep, massive millionaires. Can you imagine being an employee of SpaceX right now and holding shares, knowing what's about to happen to your life? Choo. I wonder if they have some sort of no retirement clause. You can't quit with like a certain amount of time for the IPO. You gotta stay locked in, baby. Some sort of vesting period for their shares. Lock up free. So massive bottom look out the 50. They're all going to sell the second they're allowed to, which I think is only a few days. I know Elon has to hold his for 366 days. That's right, doctor. So you get a little leverage with that baby. Collateralized loans, baby. Go do it. Get $1 million cash to fill my bathtub with. There you go. I'll be like a Scrooge McDuck. The 50 fib is pretty clutch. New tool unlocked. There you go. It's one of the reasons why it's one of the few tools that I've added. You know, all you see me use. Do you see any squiggly lines on my chart? Not at all. I use volume. I use volume at price, which is a volume profile, and then I use the 50 because it's a pattern. It's an awesome mean reversion indicator. That's it. And then I just tie everything price action analysis together. This is what I need. You give me 1 to 2 trades a day tops, and I'm gold. I'm gold. I mean, I'm not SpaceX employees, but I'm pretty close. Gold. That's all you need too. That is all you need. Keep it simple. You go on Twitter right now, you're going to see so many different stupid systems that are way overcomplicated. Way overcomplicated. Not to say that my systems are only that works. There's a ton of systems that work. Find thing I'm telling you. Find something that's simple. It's not overcomplicated. The hardest part is you managing your brain. That's it. Why do you think most of the questions I get are, how do I stop doing this? How do I stop doing that? How do I stop doing this? Stop being a jabroni. I can answer your technical questions in 30 seconds, but I need a psychology degree to fix the rest of your trading. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Surprise, surprise, surprise. How do you use the 50? Do you set on the first 15 minutes? Whenever I see a move being made and then I see a pivot, so whether it be a red move, then a green, or green move, then a red, whatever that range is I set the 50. I mean, look at this one. So if you can kind of go back in time on this move here that formed, I would form the second I start to see it reject, I'll form the 50. When it takes off again, I'll pull the 50 on the whole move again. And here we go again. So every time we have a pivot, I pull the 50 to see where the pivot is going to end. Now again, the 50 is not structure. The 50 is a pattern. The 50 is mean reversion. That could be a new endeavor for me. What, getting a psychology degree? Yeah, I'd rather change out all the toilet paper in my house with sandpaper. $29,095. I would rather do that than give one more penny to any college ever again. Going up to overnight highs again? Sure does look like it. Sure does look like it. In about 15 minutes, I'll have to switch over to Bookmap. Today is Wednesday. We have crude oil inventories at the bottom of the hour. Please be advised,
crude oil inventories is a prohibited event on Take Profit Trader. You cannot trade CL futures during that 10:30 mark. You could trade ES and NASDAQ, but not CL. So for our oil traders, be advised. Just chill in your Discord, you'll see 95 psychologies. Dude, just get married. It's a bunch of different psychologies. All at once. It's not easy. I've always wondered how to eat threesome toast. Yesterday was textbook 3 Yes, it was. That afternoon was extraordinary. I mean, 700-point bounce on NASDAQ, all because you're watching volume. Can you learn to trust the super high volume spike? And more importantly, can you wait until you only see super high volume spikes? That's the key. Do that, and I promise you, your trading will change. You will take more payouts than you ever thought you could. Guaranteed. And won't fix all your problems, but we'll fix a lot of your problems. What do you look at? Check out coffin bidet controls. Way clear. My gosh. Yeah. My sister went for psychology and I was making more than the one previous job. Still on Monday, get her master's now, partner in the clinic to make it pretty good money, but I feel there's no RI on it. Good for this. Yeah. Yeah. My kids will be going for something business related if they go, or aviation related. So kind of hobby to a degree. Can we get to 29,300 today? It's possible. It's possible. First, we got to get through the 170 mark. There's a lot going on at 170. It's the overnight level, which we've already rejected once, and then we have to go to 198, which is the afternoon high, not the day's high, but the afternoon high from yesterday. We have a power potato seating for the fire. I feel like there's an animal. I feel like an animal. Only to bear. Think a blaster or what? What do you think? What do you think? I think we're still going green, baby. I think we're still going green. Up and away. Fantastic movement, baby. Fantastic movement. Up we go. Up we go. Check, yeah. This looks like absorption for higher. This does look like absorption for higher. Once we take this, I would probably expect 198 or so. So it's like absorption for higher. There we go. We just tapped briefly over the high of the day. Once we hold this, we'll go to 198.
Stick to STEM or healthcare later. Someone's always, yeah, absolutely. My brother went to a trade school for diesel mechanic, was there for 2 years, maybe cost him 8K total. He already makes $30 an hour. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy what you can do when you position yourself appropriately. You can take that bit more money and buy yourself an airplane. Nah. I do want to build my own airplane. So if I ever get an airplane, I'll build one. It's just too much. You have to have an obscene net worth in order to buy and maintain any kind of nice aircraft. Yeah, you could buy a Cessna, like a cheap old Cessna, but brand new Cessnas are still 600 grand off the lot. If you want to buy like a 2026 model brand new Cessna, those small, crazy. Not to mention it's 20, 30 grand a year just the maintenance cost every year, no matter what. So for me, I'd rather get a little tail dragger plane. That way I could actually fly it on my property. So that's how I like it. Now you can get one that's 50 years old for 70 grand, 80 grand, stuff like that. I'll pay if you get up on that. Not to mention the Discord play is not that great. I can rely on my trading for that one. Still holding up here. Too much leaded fuel. Yeah. $29,090. Up here absorbing. No high volume spikes. Still look like absorption for now. New cub for 350. Yeah. I know the dollar amounts here are not the point, but what value profit the prop firm is a great day in the 100 for me. Really, man, it depends on a couple of different factors. Back when I was copy trading a lot, I mean, $500 was fantastic for me because on 5 accounts, that's $2,500. Easy peasy. Now that I'm not copy trading, I would consider 2 grand fantastic day on a single account. I'm not taking massive moves. Anywhere between $500 to $1,000 in a day, I consider that pretty solid day. If I could do that relatively consistently, I'm set. And then I find that the less I strive to look more important, I find that the less I strive for bigger days, the less problems I face, the less accounts I blow, the less drawdown I experience. So especially the last 7 weeks, I've been really honing in on just 1 or 2 trades a day, relatively small position size, low stress, only longs, no shorts, and it's been working really well. I've had an extraordinary 7 weeks. Yes, I've still failed accounts and stuff, but my payouts are extraordinary. And I'm not taking $50,000 payout, but I'm taking very consistently low $4,000 payout. Very consistent. It's extraordinary. It's like the least amount of stress I've ever had this entire year. So by all means, man, you don't need to be swinging for the fences to make good money. Not with proper. The problem is giving us a golden egg here. We live in the golden era of trading for prop firms. You get to trade fake money on a fake order book for a couple of dollars a month and get paid real money. And all you have to do
and just stay consistent. How long should it take you to pass a 50K eval? How long should it take you to pass a 50K eval? Normally, it takes me about 2.5 weeks to pass eval. Normally. Sometimes I do it in 5 days.
It's an eval that you're probably going a little too conservative,
3.5.
depending on the evaluation.
Taking more than 3.5.
150 days, that might take you a little bit longer because $9,000 is
Depending
a
on
big
the evaluation.
is a big target.
150.
But $3,000 on a 50K account, and in this environment, it shouldn't take you a month and a half to pass.
But $50,000 on a 50K account, and in this environment, it shouldn't take you a month and a half to pass. A 50K eval. So I should be shooting for 2 days? No. If you're doing these prop firms that allow 1 day to pass, you're trying to pass them in 2 days, I mean, it's the same reason why prop firms allow 15 minis. Because they want you to do it, because you're the one that is funding their business. If you're going for those quick 1 day passes, 15 minis trying to pass it as quickly as you can, all you're doing is making someone else rich. You're making them rich. Don't do it. There's 1,000 orders sitting at 29,175, and I guarantee you they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. 15 minis because it's a pucker factor. You know, so. It's not really a pucker factor when it's not your real money, or when it's proper. 5 more minutes after switch over to book map, but we're going to that 175. We're going to that 175. They got 150 at 100. They got 175 at 1,000. They're probably gonna have to reaccumulate, get a little drawdown, bottom weight overall though. 175 is my target for the morning here. Has anyone else been forced into a Pro Plus on TPT without even breaking the buffer? Negative. I haven't read much into it, but I just saw Oregon is trying to pass a new act that removes legal protections for hunting, fishing, trapping, farming, passing affected workers in 37,000 farms. See, that's the stuff that's not the government's fault, that's the people's fault. The people have to realize that we have the power to stop these governments. But we're all so medicated with Netflix and sport ball that we don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to risk anything. Why would I risk my comfortable couch and Netflix so I could stop some treachery in the government? And we're going to let governments do that, take away our hunting and fishing, and shooting and firearms. Anyway, I need to create another podcast called Revolution. Here comes the accumulation up to 175. William Wallace, dude, let's go, baby. Thoughts on a sell-off due to buying? I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think there's a strong argument for rocket ships or massive sell-off after the SpaceX IPO. There's an argument for both, and I don't know which one's gonna happen. I will say though, I expect tremendous volatility around the event. Tremendous volatility.
Here comes 175. 1,000 orders. We have 400 orders at 150, and then 1,000 orders sitting at 29,175. Once we absorb this level, you'll see the quick green bubbles. Innate bubbles. There it goes, baby. There it goes. 'Cause I just died in your arm tonight. Must have been some accumulation. Let's go, baby. Mm. Let's go. Oh man. I'm like running a symphony over here. Here it comes. Oh, they just moved it up 175. Now we're going 225. Man. And all you have to do is pay $25 for this Discord. It's the best one in the business, baby. Best one in the business. Where's my boy BG today, though? Excuse me while I have to go process another 5 cancellations. You jabronis. Keep on shorting, baby. I'm gonna keep longing up to 300. Keep on shorting. I want to long to 300. Here we go. 175. Now we're coming to 225. 1,000 orders. Absorption. That's all it is, baby. Looks like absorption. Blast off. Looks like absorption. Blast off. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. Incredible. I cannot even trade on my pro account. Why not? Oh, because of that, yeah. Blast off. Do we have volume? Look, we just hit all that nice, beautiful absorption up to 225. It's amazing. On that push, I just passed my first eval. Can't thank you in the community enough. Nice trade ends of sanity. Well done, buddy. Now the hard work starts, though. You passed the evals. Now we need to do the fundeds. I need to do another podcast. So you've passed your first fund evaluation. What's next? Did those orders fill? Yes, they did. They did fill. They went from 175 to 225 and then filled 1,000 orders. So we filled about 1,400 orders right there. Slow and steady. That's right. Slow and steady. Seriously thinking about going out today and buying some physical gold. There you go. I'm not a fan of that stuff, man. I'm not a fan. Look what just happened. Look what just happened back in January. Silver went to astronomical levels and you couldn't sell it. You couldn't sell it. People were trying to sell their physical gold to lock in their money. They couldn't do it. And the people that could sell it were having to sell it for a 30-40% discount. What's the point? What's the point? So yeah, you have an asset that you can hold for forever and never sell it. It's like might as well own a house. Now you might be able to convince a bank to give you a collateralized loan against it. Let's do the stock market is king. Anyway, I have to switch over to Bookmap. Nice, Zach. Well done. Yeah, so today's Bookmap day from 10:30 to 11:30. If you're on the YouTube, you'll see this stream shut off. And we will see you'll see another stream pop up. Click on that one, join, hang out with us. If you're in the Discord, you'll see this one shut off and come over and join the Discord, the Bookmap one. I will post the link in the stream. So I'll see you all back over in about 3 minutes. All right, welcome to the Options Millionaire Book Map Coast Train. I'm Andrew. This is June 10th, 2026, Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern Time. And we had yet another blast off green bullish day. No shorting, buy the dip. If you were watching Bookmap in the past 15 minutes, you saw an extraordinary indication of liquidity up to 29,175, then even higher to 29,225, at which point the market filled that liquidity, and is now currently holding pattern. It's amazing stuff. When the market puts on a skew to such degree, you have to expect follow through. That's exactly what happened. Well, ES and NASDAQ blasted. ES went to 74.05, filled right through their liquidity at 73 or 7,400, and then now we're currently holding. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Got a sneak peek of some hunting photos. The photographer here's a good one. Look at that. That is beautiful, Macapaguli. Beautiful. I love the trellis too, man. Amazing. The arch. Congratulations, dude. It's a fantastic time in life. If you are on Bookmap and have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. What's up, Stephen? Good morning. Right now, I'm just seeing how this thing is going to follow through after holding that pivot. We took advantage of the buy the dip opportunity. We've had two 50% bounces, 50% Fibonacci bounces. We've had a high volume 3C bounce that occurred there in the morning, and we have been a nice trend up there all day long. I've been nothing but bullish for 2 days now. Nothing but bullish. I bought every dip, no shorting. It's been 7 weeks. I haven't taken a single short position. Only buy the dip. Stop shorting and learn how to make money for real. The average trader should not be looking for shorts and longs. You will get wrecked. On a long enough time frame, everyone who looks for short positions' account will go to zero. Only long. You don't have to be a lonely at onlylong.com. $73.87 still going. Have a new podcast episode coming out this week as well. If you want to find a good trading related podcast on Spotify, head over to Making Millionaires and subscribe. Listen, it's all free, of course. Requires nothing from you except your ears and a couple of minutes of your time to listen. Massive bottom wick going up to 200. We have one remaining liquidity right here at 250. Beautiful stuff.
Stop buying. Stop buying. Stop buying. Iceberg sell. Iceberg sell. Stop sell.
New high of the day already, 240, filled that liquidity. Now, we do have a volume spike that occurred at 1025. So if we draw a line here, this is the seller's supply that we have to deal with. So we're going to go ahead and close those odds out because they've already been absorbed.
Right now, everything still looks bullish. Once they close 230, it's off to the races. It's off to the races. There we go. What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? You see how little liquidity we do have here.
Stop sell. Stop sell.
Remaining level is 29,425. Extraordinary moves.
Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell.
It's unlike anything that's ever been in space before. NVIDIA's investment arm is backing a company that built
Stop sell. Stop sell. Stop sell.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, Bloomberg Television, and the Bloomberg Business app. This is the Bloomberg Business Flash.
From the Bloomberg Interactive Brokers Studio, I'm Matt Piper. All eyes on what the Fed may do next week after the consumer price index today showed that inflation slumped 5.2% from a year earlier, the most since early 2023. That news sends the markets down at this hour. The S&P right now is down just ever so slightly, about 7 points. The Dow right now is down half a percentage point at 280 points. NASDAQ is down 0.1%. The Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index is down 0.1%. Well, the more policy reactive 2-year yield is flat at 4.11. The 10-year is up a point to slightly at 4.52. Taking a look at after the U.S. and Iran exchange strikes overnight, which could hinder talks aimed at securing lasting peace in the Middle East. Brent right now is at $93 a barrel, WTI at $90 a barrel. Jim Bianco of Bianco Research on why even with this news today, oil prices are not moving much.
I think there's headline fatigue.
Stop sell. Stop sell.
Tucker's not here is when the tism really hits.
That's because we don't have anyone to roast nonstop.
Yeah, true.
We got a nice.
We're gonna roast him for his tomato juice on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, dude, who drinks tomato juice on the plane?
I'll chug a bottle of V8, dude. I don't care, but there's gonna be something going along with it if I'm on a fucking plane.
Tomato juice. Like, what is he, 90?
At least it wasn't straight up coma. Ooh, look at that IV spike. Let's look at this. This is good.
Yeah.
Shut up again.
Yeah.
Shut up again.
Nice IV spike when they come in there. Bigger bid ass right here, and I like seeing that filled the ask here. You have some more just kind of trailers in here. It looks like. I mean, that IV is kind of rising in here. Spot price is rising here. It's good, interesting flow that you found there, Bean. I mean, order book changes a little bit there, and kind of start seeing the IV kind of change a little bit here. But yeah, that's very interesting flow because when you get those big chunks and it's marking that as a related trade that you're seeing, and IV, well, IV kind of drops a bit there, but that price is dropping a little bit too, so it could be why. Yeah, I mean, I like the beginning part. The beginning part is the part that really sticks out there. You only had 293 open contracts, only 30 traded on the day. Then you have 3,300 come in, big IV spike. This is the part here that I like. Kind of the other part here, kind of like you were saying, being too, it's speculative. It looks, I lean wide open, especially kind of now seeing how it moved there too. But yeah, that first chunk is the part that I like there. That's really interesting flow. NWL, what the hell is it? NWL.
Stop sell.
WL, Newell Brands. They're leading global consumer companies with a strong portfolio brand Papermate, Sharpie. Okay, so they do stuff that we don't use. At least I don't print out chart stuff. That is your highest traded name on the day overall. I just want to look at the heat zone here. Yeah, look at that 8-day there. Here, those kind of lower trade zones, though. I just be cautious of the map because there's not obviously a lot of scam on those lower traded days.
Stop sell.
Funky like that, where it's just a one big strike kind of being hit there. Apple Gamma's at 5. Yeah, so that's interesting. Oh, there. Good find there, Pete. Good find. Right on top of that call wall there, too. So good see a little here. Yeah, good find there. Good. And then we have
Top sell.
Dino 821.14 call. Let's take a peek there.
Sweep buyers. Sweep buyers. Sweep sellers.
All right, let's take a peek here. Nows.
Stop.
72 days out, 821.14 call. These have been sitting in here since the 4th. I just want to kind of go through it and look. So initial flow coming in, most of that carried over, more carried over, more carried over. This looks like a position builder. This is a real good, interesting trade here. It's an interesting trade, but now that I'm kind of looking at the context, and you got bid side, you got ask, you got more bid, makes it a little trickier there. I mean, they're 1% out of the money. I would probably assume they're not shorting 1% out of the money. Hard to know, but yeah, I kind of don't like the. Oh, what'd you find? What'd you find? What was it? You missed your short because you had to go outside? Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Man, this feels personal again. All right, back to the God damn it, man.
Yeah, it's kind of finishing up on this one. This the specific contract, it's a little messy, but it's a position builder. Look at that, you got 13,000 volume carried over, volume carried over, volume carried over. So it's a position builder, but it's
Stock buy.
not at the ask. You have some at the ask, some at the bid. I mean, you're split about 50-50 there. I'd probably just kind of, I don't know why you'd short call 1% out of the money. That'd be very ballsy if you're doing that,
Stock
especially on
buy.
long dated stuff. I probably lean, and we're not going to get a clean read on this. I mean, like this chunk here. I mean, your mids are, yeah, it's got wonky fills too. I like that it's a position builder though. That's definitely interesting. And then, yeah, today's volume,
Stock
I
buy.
just kind of based off the history on it, it would surprise me to see it's carryover. But yeah, that chain is the kind of the only one with any open interest on it there. And
They love it. Like that's a shitload of building at a time. But I'm with you. I'm having difficulty picking directionality. I do almost want to lean short though because of how. I mean, and it feels got
it's a
especially
coin
on the
flip.
next days, but coin tossing it again.
Yeah, we can let's look at our heat map here. I bet the heat map.
You might have already mentioned it, but that is some big dick swinging to short something that's that.
Yeah, that's you would have to be very ballsy, very ballsy. But yeah, look at all that positive gamma. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you're right at that call wall right now too. Gonna act as resistance there a little bit, but yeah, look at that net gamma. It's all that 821. You're probably not gonna get a clean gamma read on this thing, honestly, just because it's the only chain that has. Yeah, look at the 821. Like, oh, I wonder what strike sticks out there. We're right on it too. So I mean, and
I
I'd
am
be
sure.
it.
Small, chase, word small. All right, I'm
Yeah.
taking already. Hold. This doesn't take out. All right, I'm out. I'll take $80.
Whether you're backing up your home, exploring the outdoors, or powering the job site, Harbor Freight has the portable generators you need.
My stop was really wide, so I wanted to take profit there. The stop was wider.
That was kind of a chase for you too.
A little bit, yeah. I think it's gonna go. I think we got a little bit more. They might get some bounces. You can see right here, the reason I hesitated that short chase instead, right where they bounce.
Iceberg buy. Iceberg buy.
So that's generally my full target. They already hit it on the short that I missed. So this one was a little bit riskier of a short. Now I'm waiting for more back tests, see if I can get back into one.
Iceberg sell. Iceberg sell.
Let's be back testing for long entry. A big bald person with a long fat 35 got a nice underpoint side. But I'm not that guy. I suck at longs. So now I'm gonna see what this 1 minute candle does. Maybe I'll get into another one. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut the fuck up again. I'll take it. One for one since I can log in now.
Technically, we're 2 for 2.
Oh yeah, you took one. Yeah, right.
No sé cómo darle fast forward a esto, muchachos. No sé. Pero ustedes no se imaginan la cantidad de cuentas quemadas ayer por todos los youtubers. Por todos los youtubers.
Stock buy. Stock buy.
Estoy esperando, muchachos,
Stock
que
buy.
llegue ojalá a la mitad del opening range. Yo no voy a hacer trading por el momento porque está tratando, según el estructura alcista, está tratando de corregir el mercado. O sea, yo estoy bien aquí viendo videos de YouTube. No me importa.
Sweet sellers. Sweet sellers.
Vean cómo estos manes pierden de qué vaina. y tienen miles de seguidores, ¿no? Y los miles de seguidores queman cuentas juntos con ellos. Ellos no hacen micros, ellos hacen minis. Y estos manes, este es el tipo que más hace quemar cuentas en toda la internet. Y tiene miles y miles y miles y miles de seguidores. Y todo el mundo con la estrategia que él tiene ha vendido millones ya en el curso de él. Y el tipo es el que más quema cuentas en el internet. ¿Por qué? Porque él hace minis. Al hacer minis, cada bounce que el precio tiene, él llega a cierto, 1500. Él muestra nunca una cuenta, muestra payouts. Este tipo tiene un convenio con Apex, con Bullenox, algo así, con Apex. Este tipo quema al día. Yo le he contado, ahí vieron las pérdidas, ahí acabaron de ver pérdidas, ¿no? Lo mismo que yo hice tratando de comprar esos fondos. Miren aquí, él está comprando este rebote aquí. Yo también estaba tratando de comprarlo ayer. Esto es un rebote aquí. Ya, 2 contratos, van 2 minis. Ahí va. Es lo mismo que yo hice. Porque ¿quién va a esperar una caída de esta sin parar? Muy poca gente. Entonces ayer había muchos profesionales aquí en el chat diciendo prácticamente que sí, que ellos sí sabían. Que ellos sabían que el mercado iba para abajo y hay que hacerlo para abajo. Playback speed, pero no sé el nombre, playback speed. Ahí se salió de otra cuenta y dijo que la tenía quemada. Lástima que ustedes no tienen el audio. Cuando va ganando, dice, oh, en esta gané, es una cuenta fondeada. Muéstrala, estúpido. Yo estaba en el chat de él. Hay que pagar para poder escribir en ese chat. Hay que pagar. 5 contratos ahí. ¡Bum! Ahí lo sacó de nuevo. Si nos quedamos aquí todo el día, ustedes van a ver miles y miles y miles de dólares en pérdidas. Miles de dólares en pérdidas. Ni hablar de Patrick. Ni hablar de Patrick. Ni hablar de Patrick. Ni hablar de Don Patrick. Ahora va 9,000 en ganancia, 8,000. Este es en vivo. Patrick, ayer lo estuve viendo y yo dije, mierda, loco. ¿Qué pasó aquí? Esto fue ayer, si no estoy mal. No, este es hoy. Esto es hoy, esto es ayer. Esto fue ayer. Esto fue ayer. Ganaba, perdía en su vida, ganaba y perdía en su vida. La gente piensa que es que uno es el único que pierde aquí en este negocio. Ayer yo dije, Patrick tuvo que haber perdido más de 15, 20 cuentas ayer, facilito. Facilito. Facilito, más de 15 a 20 cuentas. Aquí cogía esta embajada y entonces llegaba y mostraba las subidas. Mostraba las cuentas cuando iban en verde. Pero no está mostrando. Miren esto, 3,000, 4,000. Yo hice cuentas de todas las que perdí. Señores, tuvo que haber perdido más de 15 a 20 cuentas. ¿Las mostró? No. No, ninguno. Ningún youtuber las muestra. Ninguno. A mí me importa 3 pepinos si Patrick se enoja conmigo. Ah, eso sí, mostraba la cuenta que tenía en el teléfono donde le estaba yendo bien. Mostraba la cuenta en el teléfono donde le estaba yendo bien. Yo miré todo el stream completo, lo miré, todo. Y yo dije, mierda, loco. La cantidad de cuentas que más es impresionante. Impresionante en la rueda, dices tú. Aquí en esta rueda. No sé. Y estoy mostrando todas las que ganó. Estoy mostrando todas las que ganó. Aquí vendió. Vendió, va en subida. Le vi una pérdida como de $12,000. Le vi otra pérdida como de 8,000 y pico. La mayoría de pérdidas fueron de 3,000, 4,000. Al final del día usted hace cuenta y usted dice, que tuvo que haber perdido hasta la madre. Y él solamente sigue haciendo 40 ticks, 10 puntos. 10 puntos. Mira la pérdida va en 5,000, 6,000. 6,000 la pérdida. 4,000, 6,000. No sé si este se le devolvió o lo cerró. Vi varios, tiene muchos trades ayer, la mayoría. Yo dije, tuvo que haber volado.
Sweet sellers.
Imposible que tenga las cuentas en positivo con los trades que hizo. Imposible, está cayendo el mercado, estoy esperando que llegue a la mitad del opening range. Yo estoy esperando que caiga más del mercado para comprar.
Top sell.
Estoy mirando aquí, van 8.000 de pérdida, señores. Van 8.000 de pérdida. Y ahí la cerró la transacción. Mira, van. Como transacciones como estas, ¿no? Por ahí 10 transacciones en pérdidas grandísimas. Y después muestra las 5 cuentas en positivo.
Sweet buyers. Sweet buyers.
No sé cómo manejar esa nueva.
Sweet buyers.
Amamos a Sophie. Sophie es tremenda, muchachos. Sophie, hay una nave ahí.
Use agency.
Estamos en la apertura, retirando la
Oh,
apertura.
I started using Mega AI. It creates the strategy, launches the campaign, and optimizes.
La apertura. Ahí están mis contratos de nuevo. Esa es la apertura.
Top sell.
Esta es la apertura. Esa es la apertura. Esa es la apertura. Y ya.
Stop buy.
Eso es la mitad del opening range. Como si nada. Como si nada. Como si nada. ¿Tienes descuento en alfa? Sí, está el 25% en alfa durante esta semana. Rubén, puede ir a subir más bien acumulativo para no mostrar pasos hacia abajo. Ya, ahí la adivinaste. ¿Quién se llama? ¿Qué fue que dijo eso? Carlos Flores. Carlos Flores le pegó bien. Este parece José Martínez. Viene en descuento. No. Carlos Flores adivinó bien el movimiento. Egidio, el perdón es para sanar.
Sweet buyers.
Quiere decir que continúes tratando de compartir. Desde hay una enseñanza. Pablo no quiso salir más marcos porque no. Ya. Esos son mis dos niveles, la apertura del día, que mi indicador de rango
Sweet sellers.
extra,
Sweet sellers.
nos hizo ese upgrade en el indicador. Esta franja de color magenta muestra la apertura de Nueva York, y la apertura de Nueva York es un nivel muy
Top
importante.
buy.
Para el precio de
Top
rescatar.
buy.
Empiezo a sacar
Stop
contratos,
buy.
saco otro contrato, me quedo con los últimos dos y espero a ver el precio que va a ser, si rescatan la mitad del opening range o no lo rescatan. Pam, me quedo con uno solo y ya. Quito tus contratos de aquí porque si el mercado sigue bajando, olvídate. Dos, ¿por qué ustedes creen que le pedí el favor a Ricardo que nos podía colocar la apertura de Nueva York? En este indicador del rango, le dije que si nos colocaba la apertura de Nueva York con un rectángulo magenta, de color magenta, rosadito, porque es importante, el precio llega ahí y rebota. Aquí el precio abrió, subió, bajó, ¿y dónde rebotó? En la apertura. ¿Y ahorita dónde está rebotando? Está rebotando en la apertura. Si se vence, si rompe esa apertura, ya, no hay que buscar más. Ya el movimiento está bien estirado y está llegando a un punto de
Top buy.
sí, ¿no?
Top buy.
y ya no hay soporte, no hay nada. No hay nada, no hay nada. Ahí hay otro soporte. Desde el viernes hasta el día de hoy. Me meto otro contrato. Estoy esperando a ver reacción. Si no me salgo, yo no estoy enfocado en PNL el día de hoy, muchachos. Estoy enfocado en hacer trading como yo sé hacer, en mirar los puntos de soporte y mirar.
Stop sell.
Puntos importantísimos míos, la apertura de Nueva York, la mitad del rango y los pivots. Las EMAs es una ayuda. Está muy estirada la bajada. Quiero saber qué tanto va a hacer esta gente. ¿Van a subir o no? Están rescatando la apertura de Nueva York, señores. Están rescatando. Boom, ahí saqué un contrato. Están rescatando la apertura de Nueva York. Boom, saqué otro contrato y voy en 566 de entonces,
Stop
rompió
sell.
estructura,
Stop sell.
hay caída y Rubén se continúa entrando. Ah, Rubén, te está yendo en contra del mercado otra vez. Sí. Y esa es mi forma de hacer trading.
Stop sell.
Es como el precio funciona. Ayer y el viernes no funcionó así. Miren eso, miren ese bounce tan lindo. Está recuperando la apertura. ¿Dónde rebotó? Que alguien, por favor, todo el chat escriba. Ustedes quieren que yo regale indicadores, está bien. Yo les pido que escriban algo es porque para que ustedes se les quede memorizando. ¿Dónde rebotó el precio? ¿Dónde rebotó el precio? Tengo que volverte a enviar el indicador. Tengo que volverte a enviar. Si ustedes quieren que a los que ya les regalé este indicador y no tienen esta apertura, tengo que volvérselos a enviar. Solo me dicen y yo se los envío, yo se los regalo. ¿Ok? ¿Dónde rebotó el precio? Díganme, ¿ustedes quieren que yo les regale indicadores? Colaboren aquí para que ustedes se les quede memorizado eso. ¿Dónde rebotó el precio?
Sell.
¿Dónde? En la apertura del mercado, Michel Cano. En la apertura de Nueva York. Vuelvo y les repito, donde abre la vela a las 9:30 de Nueva York. Es súper importantísimo, Ismael, en la apertura de Nueva York. Roberto Dupont, en la apertura de Nueva York.
Weak buyers.
Es donde abre prácticamente la vela imaginaria de la sesión de Nueva York. ¿Qué están viendo? Ustedes quieren indicadores, pero no quieren entonces responder. No quieren participar en lo que hablamos aquí. Yo dije, esto se va a caer. Y se va a caer. Entonces, porque me va a atropellar. La única forma que yo entre en compras es si llega a la mitad del opening range. Y ahí entré en compras. El siguiente pivot importante para mí era la apertura de Nueva York. Y ahí entré en compras. Y ahí me hice 100 y pico más. Y en 566 de ganancia. ¿Sí me entienden? Entonces, ustedes les gusta. Pobre rico, pobre a rico, regálame el curso. ¿Hace cuánto tú haces trading? Pobre rico.
Stop sell. Stop sell.
¿Y dónde tú estás? ¿En qué ciudad tú estás? Estamos por encima de la mitad del opening range. Siempre y cuando sigamos por encima de la mitad del opening range, esto puede seguir bullish. Está rechazando. El de 1 hora quiere seguir siendo bullish. 5 minutos no y 15 minutos tampoco. Intentemos una bajada entonces. Si quiere romper el fondo, ahí está.
Stop buy.
Vamos aquí. Ok, tenemos el 600 de ganancia. 621. El de 1 hora. Señor, esto se puede romper durísimo porque este será de 1 hora. Las EMA son bearish. Si esta de 1 hora rompe esa última roja hacia abajo, la caída puede ser profunda. La caída puede llegar a ser profunda. Ya estamos por debajo del VWAP. Y el próximo VWAP está en los 660. 660 está el próximo. Si yo entro en bajada, tengo que entrar en zona de descuento, no acá abajo, sino esperar a ver si el mercado hace un pullback y me da un poquitico de descuento para entrar en. Obviamente, le
Stop sell.
para regalar el curso y tampoco la respondo. Increíble. Me hago una pregunta, ¿hace cuánto está haciendo trading y dónde vive? ¿Ciudad o algo? No respondo. Quiero regalar el curso y no participo. Después me están pidiendo indicadores regalados, pero no quieren apoyar al canal. Voy a quitar esa orden. Lo mismo que ayer, Rubén, sube el precio y luego se lo tiran abajo. Lo mismo que el viernes y que ayer, lo mismo. ¿Cómo está Rubén? Un saludo, papá. Hola, Darío.
Top five.
Es, huevón, que yo no te había bloqueado. Tú me dice que te había dado de tu hermano. Tú o tu hermano me dijo, Rubén, me bloqueaste en el chat. No, yo no los he bloqueado nunca. ¿Cómo se les ocurre? Ustedes son parte de aquí de la familia, ¿no? No, para nada. Jorge fue quien escribió, ya. Te digo que yo no me había bloqueado. Voy a intentar esa venta ahí, señores.
Stop buy.
Vamos a llegar al low del día de hoy. Y creo que
Stop sell.
el low de ayer está cambiando. El low de ayer está muy abajo. Vamos a ir asegurando ganancias.
Stop buy. Stop buy. Stop buy.
Regalemos tanto. Como que viene el peo.